Good morning, students. Welcome back. I hope all of you are safe and fit at home, studying well and completing your work on time. This video is for the students of class 6th. Subject English. And in today's video, we are going to cover one chapter of our Honeysuckle book. That is our chapter number 10. And the name of the chapter is The Banyan Tree. It is written by Ruskin Bond. This is my lecture number 1 for the same chapter. Students, we shall cover this chapter in one lecture only. Topics to be covered in today's lecture are: first of all, we will read the introduction of the chapter. After then, chapter will be explained line by line of part 1 and 2 in detail along with word meanings. At last, homework will be assigned. Before start reading the chapter in detail, first of all let us see the introduction of it. The author, that is Ruskin Bond, narrates an incident of a fight between a mongoose and a cobra that he witnessed as a young boy while sitting under a banyan tree at his grandparents' house. The fight of the cobra and the mongoose is a classic drama often seen in India, and the outcome is largely the same. The mongoose is not immune to the venomous bite, means the mongoose cannot protect himself from poisonous bite, but is faster and quicker in motion than the snake, as he can run faster than the snake, so that he can protect himself from snake. The cobra assumes a posture of defense and attempts to reach the animal by a sweeping strike, but the quick moving mongoose jumps out of reach and comes at the snake from another direction before the snake can get into striking position again. This constant movement tires and discourages the snake, and the mongoose is finally able to leap in close and bury its teeth in the snake's neck, usually severing the joints of its vertebrae. Vertebrae means spinal column. So, have you seen a mongoose? You have read in lesson 9 that a mongoose can fight with and kill a snake. So, as you can see in the picture also. So, let us read the chapter in detail to know about them. You must have seen a banyan tree. This is a story about what the author saw as a young boy when he was sitting in an old banyan tree in his grandfather's house. To know about what happened next, let us read the story of part 1 in detail along with word meanings. So let's start reading the chapter. Let us see first paragraph. Though the house and grounds belonged to my grandparents, the magnificent old banyan tree was mine, chiefly because grandfather at 65 could no longer climb it. Magnificent means marvelous or wonderful. So, the author, that is Ruskin Bond, was at his grandparents' house, and he claimed that the banyan tree belonged to him, though the house owner were his grandparents. He said so because his grandfather was 65 years old and was unable to climb the tree. Now let us move to next paragraph. Its spreading branches, which hung to the ground and took root again, forming a number of twisting means twiddle or turn, passages, gave me endless pleasure. Among them were squirrels and snails and butterflies. Means the author felt very happy and joyful to see the opened out branches of the tree, which used to hang from the tree in bunches to the ground. These roots had formed loops. Loops means a shape produced by a curve that bends round and crosses itself. Various animals like squirrels, snails, and butterflies were living in the turns of those loops. The tree was older than the house, older than grandfather, as old as Dehradun itself. I could hide myself in its branches, behind thick green leaves, and spy on the world below. Spy means secret agent. Dehradun is the state capital of Uttarakhand. Means the tree was very old, older than the house and grandfather. It was as old as the city Dehradun. Now let us move to next paragraph. My first friend was a small grey squirrel. Arching means bending his back and sniffing means breathing or smelling into the air. He seemed at first to resent means dislike or feel angry about. My invasion means invading a country or region with an armed force of his privacy. Means first of all the author became friend or made friend a small squirrel. He arched his back and smelled into the air. In the beginning, he did not like the author's invasion into his privacy. But when he found that I did not arm myself with catapult, means a forked stick with an elastic band fastened to the two prongs used by children for shooting small stones, or air gun, he became friendly. And when I started bringing him pieces of cake and biscuit, he grew quite bold and was soon taking morsels, means small bites of food from hand. Means, but when he realized that the author was not armed with anything to offend him, he became friendly. Soon the author started bringing him pieces of food like cakes and biscuits. The squirrel started eating small pieces from his hands. Small pieces of food from his hands. Before long, he was delving, means going deep into my pockets and helping himself to whatever he could find. Means very soon the squirrel started digging into the author's pockets for whatever he could find. He was a very young squirrel, and his friends and relatives probably thought him foolish and headstrong for trusting a human. Means he was young squirrel and his relatives and friends must have thought him to be a fool for trusting a human. Now let us move to another paragraph. In the spring, when the banyan tree was full of small red figs, means a fruit, birds of all kinds would flock into its branches. The red-bottomed bulbul, cheerful and greedy parrots, myna, and crows, scrabbling means fighting over small things with one another. During the fig season, means the time when figs appeared, the banyan tree was the noisiest place in the garden. Means in the spring season, the banyan tree used to be in full bloom. It used to be full of small red figs, that is a fruit. Different birds like bulbul, parrots, myna, and crows used to fight with each other over small things. Their voices together used to make the place noisy in the garden in the fig season. Now let us move to next paragraph. Halfway up the tree I had built a crude. Crude means primitive raw. Primitive raw means ancient, simple, rough platform where I would spend the afternoons when it was not too hot. Means on the tree, the author had made a platform of primitive style, ancient style. In the afternoon, when it was not very hot, he used to spend his time there. I could read there propping myself up. Propping myself up means leaning, or you can say support or keep in position against the tree with a cushion from the living room. Means he had put a cushion there, which he had picked from the drawing room and was able to read at that place while leaning against the tree. Treasure Island, Huckleberry Finn, and The Story of Dr. Dolittle were some of the books that made up my banyan tree library. Means he had set up a small tree library, and the books that he read there were Treasure Island, Huckleberry Finn, and The Story of Dr. Dolittle. Now let us move to next paragraph. When I did not feel like reading, means when I did not want to read, I could look down through the leaves at the world below. And on one particular afternoon, I had a grandstand view. Grandstand view means a clear view from the best position. A grandstand is a large covered space with rows of seats for people to watch sports of that classic of the Indian wilds, a fight between a mongoose and a cobra. Means the boy made a rough platform on which he used to sit and read adventurous book during hot summers. From here he also watched the world under the tree. One day he watched a fight between a mongoose and a cobra while sitting on the tree. So, this was the story of part 1. Now let us read the story of part 2 to know about what happened next. The warm breezes of approaching summer had sent everyone, including the gardener, into the house. Means because of hot summer, everyone, including gardener, was inside the house. I was feeling drowsy, means sleepy myself, wondering if I should go to the pond and have a swim with Ramu and the buffaloes. When I saw a huge black cobra gliding, means sliding or moving smoothly out of a clump, means bunch of cactus. Means the author was also feeling sleepy and lazy. Rather, he was deciding to visit the pond to swim with Ramu and buffaloes when he noticed a cobra coming out of a bunch of cactus. At the same time, a mongoose emerged, means came out from the bushes and went straight for the cobra. Means the mongoose came out of the bushes and went straight to the cobra to kill him or to fight with him at the same time or at the same time. Now let us move to next paragraph. In a clearing means an open space in a forest where there are no trees. Beneath the banyan tree, in bright sunshine, they came face to face. Means both the cobra and the mongoose came before each other under the banyan tree in the hot summer day. The cobra knew only too well that the grey mongoose, 3 feet long, was a superb fighter, clever and aggressive, but the cobra too was a skillful and experienced fighter. Means the cobra was well aware that the mongoose had a super fighting skills, but he himself was also an experienced fighter. He could move swiftly and strike with the speed of light, and the sax means a part of an animal or plant shaped like a bag behind his long sharp fangs. Fangs means long sharp teeth of a snake or dog were full of deadly poison. It was to be a battle of champions. Means the cobra had deadly poisonous long sharp teeth. Thus it was a battle between two champs. Now let us move to next paragraph. Hissing defiance. Defiance means rebellion. Resistance means behavior in which you refuse to obey someone or something. His forked tongue darting. Darting means move quickly or suddenly. In and out, the cobra raised 3 of his 6 feet off the ground and spread his broad, spectacled hood. Means creating a hissing sound in its defense. Moving his tongue quickly in and out, the cobra raised itself from the ground and spread his hood to fight and attack. The mongoose pushed his tail. The long hair and his spine stood up. Means the mongoose also showed his readiness to fight by bushing his tail and raising his hair. Now let us move to next paragraph. Though the combatants means participants in a fight, were unaware of my presence, means the author's presence in the tree. They were soon made aware of the arrival of 2 other spectators. Spectators means those who watch a show or games, etc. One was a myna, the other was a jungle crow. Means the participants in the fight were not aware of the author's presence in the tree, but 2 spectators, a myna and a crow, were noticing clearly. They had seen these preparations for battle and had settled on the cactus to watch the outcome, means result. Had they been content only to watch, all would have been well with both of them. Means they witnessed everything and were settled on the cactus to watch the result. But they were not satisfied with just watching, rather they participated in the fight. Now let us move to next paragraph. The cobra stood on the defensive. Defensive means defending or protective. Swaying. Swaying means moving slowly from side to side. Trying to mesmerize. Mesmerize here means magically pursued or hypnotize. The mongoose into making a false move. A false move means an unwise action. Means the cobra was trying to hypnotize the mongoose with his movements, but the mongoose knew the power of his opponent's glassy, unwinking eyes and refused to meet them. Instead, he fixed his gaze at a point just below the cobra's hood and opened the attack. Means, but the mongoose was well aware of the power of its opponents. Opponents means enemy. So he fixed his focus on attacking the cobras at a point just below the cobra's hood and started the attack. Now let us move to next paragraph. Moving forward quickly until he was just within the cobra's reach, the mongoose made a pretended means act moved to one side. Immediately, the cobra stuck. His great hood came down so swiftly that I thought nothing could save the mongoose. Means the mongoose made false quick movements very close to the cobra. The cobra attacked and moved its hood down so quickly that it seemed the mongoose would not be saved. But the little fellow jumped neatly to one side and darted in as swiftly as the cobra, biting the snake on the back and darting away again out of reach. Means, but the small creature means the mongoose was quick to jump and move on one side. It also bit the snake on its back and again moved away out of its reach. Means the mongoose saved himself from his bite. Now let us move to next paragraph. At the same moment that the cobra stuck, the crow and the myna hurled means threw themselves at him only to collide means come into conflict. Heavily in mid-air means the moment the cobra attacked, the crow and myna threw themselves at him to come into conflict. Shrieking insult at each other, they returned to the cactus plant. A few drops of blood glistened means shone on the cobra's back. Means after making loud short noises of attack, they came back to the cactus plant. Drops of blood were shining on the cobra's back. Now let us move to next paragraph. The cobra stuck and missed. Again the mongoose sprang aside, jumped in and bit. Again the birds dived at the snake, bumped into each other instead and returned shrieking to the safety of the cactus. Means the cobra attacked but missed it. The mongoose again jumped aside. The birds again tried to attack the cobra but were collided with each other. So they came back to the cactus crying. Let us move to next paragraph. The third round followed the same course as the first but with one dramatic difference. The crow and the myna, still determined to take part in the proceedings, dived at the cobra, but this time they missed each other as well as their mark. Means the third time again the birds tried to attack the cobra in the same manner, but this time there was a change. They did not collide with each other. The myna flew on and reached its perch means shelter, but the crow tried to pull up means here stop in mid-air and turn back. In the second that it took the bird to do this, the cobra whipped means back, moved back suddenly, his head back and stuck with great force. His snout means the nose and mouth of an animal. Thudding means moving against the crow's body. Means the myna flew back to its shelter, but the crow tried to continue the fight in the air and come back. In the second trial, the cobra also moved suddenly and attacked the crow with great force. Now let us move to next paragraph. I saw the bird flung nearly 20 feet across the garden. It fluttered about for a while, then lay still. The myna remained on the cactus plant and when the snake and the mongoose returned to the fight, very wisely decided not to interfere again. Means the author noticed the bird falling 20 feet away. It kept shaking its body for some time, but then it became still and died. The myna was on the cactus plant and she did not interfere in the fight after this. The cobra was weakening, and the mongoose, walking fearlessly up to it, raised himself on his short legs and with a lightning snap had the big snake by the snout. Means the cobra was weakened and defeated. The mongoose attacked fearlessly, or in simple way we can say that the cobra was gradually weakening. Ultimately, raising himself on his short legs, the mongoose had the big snake by the snout. The cobra writhed and lashed about in a frightening manner, and even coiled itself about the mongoose, but to no avail. To no avail means with no success. The snake made its last attempt to fight, but in vain. Means he didn't get success in that fight. It exhausted the cobra with its shrewd and fast attack moves and finally killed it. The little fellow hung grimly, means in a very serious manner, on until the snake had ceased to struggle. He then smelt along its quivering length, gripped it round the hood and dragged it into the bushes. It means the mongoose caught the cobra from its hood and dragged it, pushed into the bushes. Or in simple way we can say that when it had ceased to struggle, when he was struggling to fight, means the snake was struggling to fight with mongoose, the mongoose gripped it round the hood and dragged it into the bushes. Now let us move to last paragraph. The myna dropped cautiously, means carefully, to the ground, hopped about, peered into the bushes from a safe distance, and then with a shrill means high-pitched cry of congratulation, flew away. Means the myna fell down to the ground and hopping about, she reached the bushes. Giving a congratulatory high-pitched sound, she flew away. So this is the end of the lecture. Students, you have to complete your homework on the basis of the chapter explained by me. And your homework is read chapter 10, that is the banyan tree, and write word meanings mentioned in the video. Based on the understanding of the chapter, write the answers of the questions mentioned in the book Honeysuckle as page number 133, working with the text, question number 1 to 4. You have to do these questions in your English Fair notebook along with word meanings. Students, you have to write the meanings of the following words in your English Fair notebook. Number 1 is magnificent. Number 2 is recent. Number 3 is morsels. Number 4 is squabbling. Number 5 is gliding. Number 6 is fangs. Number 7 is spectators. Number 8 is mesmerize. Now let us see questions of working with the text, which is on page number 133 in your book. Question number 1, part 2 is, what did the cobra and the mongoose do to show their readiness for the fight? Question number 2 is, who were the other two spectators? What did they do? Did they watch or did they join in the fight? Question number 3 you have to do in your book only. So now let us see question number 4 part 1. What happened to the crow in the end? Part 2 is what did the myna do finally? So now let us see a question of working with the language which is on page number 133 in your book. Question number 1 is the word round usually means a kind of shape. What is its meaning in the story? So this question you have to do in your notebook. That's all for today. This is the end of the lecture. Students, if you like our videos, then please hit on the like button and don't forget to subscribe our channel. Thank you and have a nice day.